friends, welcome back to Farm Girl Diaries. My name is Caitlin, and today is the day that we cook up our big bad pumpkin. So we grew this pumpkin together this summer. This was our only big pumpkin. I had a couple other small ones, but this one trumps them by a lot. And it's the biggest pumpkin that I've ever grown. So I am so excited. Today we're going to be cooking this. It is the Monday before Thanksgiving. And this pumpkin is going to turn into our pumpkin pie and possibly a pumpkin roll. My mom bought a pumpkin roll for Thanksgiving, but I really wanted to make my own. So we'll see. We're going to actually not finish this video today. We're going to finish it on Wednesday. Wednesday I'll make the pie and we'll make the possible pumpkin roll. Maybe. But I want to get this guy roasted today. It's Monday evening. And every single night this week I have some chores that I'm doing to get ready for Thanksgiving. I host Thanksgiving here. It's not a big affair, and it's actually pretty easy. My mom makes the sides that her and my dad eat, so I only make the sides that I want, like anything extra. So our traditional Thanksgiving is the turkey, the stuffing, the carrots, the sweet potatoes, and corn. So my mom is taking care of the carrots and the sweet potatoes, and then she's making the stuffing, and I think she's cutting the bread up for the stuffing and bringing the stuff in here for me to make. I do the turkey, and I do the corn, and then I'll do extra things. And right now I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna do something green. Maybe I have some Brussels sprouts. So I'm thinking maybe like a shredded Brussels sprout salad. I don't really know yet, but I do know that I have chores every single night this week. So this is my first chore, is to get this puppy roasted so that it just makes life a little bit easier on Wednesday when I'm making the pie and doing anything extra that I have to do for Thanksgiving. But before I cut this open, I want to see how much he weighs. And this pumpkin weighs 13 pounds, 7.4 ounces. So just call me a regular old pumpkin grower over here. I'm pretty proud of that. I have never grown a pumpkin that big ever. So I'm going to be excited about it. I'm going to take my win. So now I'm just going to cut it open without cutting myself. I have the oven preheated right now to 375. And I have washed this pumpkin. If I was going to use this for some sort of savory dish, I would do my normal olive oil, salt, and pepper. But we're not going to do that because it's going towards a pumpkin pie. So I'm just going to get it cut open. And then scoop out the guts and get it roasted. And just be careful when you're doing this. This is not my first rodeo. I don't think I probably do it the easiest way. But the way I do does work. It does get me into the pumpkin. Okay. Fine can come off. Okay. Oh, and I got some dirt here at the bottom before I open it. Let me get that dirt. Now we do scoop out the flesh, but I just don't want to put a risk of any kind of dirt contaminants into my pumpkin. Look at my cute little pumpkin. Isn't that so fun? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bowl because I do want to save these pumpkin seeds. So I'm just going to, you can use a spoon, you can use your hands. I use my hands. Get in there and pull all this gunk out. I have never made pumpkin seeds. I know that's a treat that a lot of people like. Maybe we'll try that this time. I've never made it before. But we'll see. So just go ahead and get your pumpkin cleaned out. Okay, we have our pumpkins all scooped out. That is a messy job. Let me tell you what. Messy, sticky job. Got a pumpkin seed right there. So now, just to make future Caitlin's life easier, I'm going to cut them in quarters and wedges, like you would a watermelon. And then once they're cooked, I can just kind of slice down and remove all of the flesh. Make 2 bacon sheets. There we go. Okay. Now it's going against all my better judgment. I really want to olive oil these and salt and pepper them, but we don't want that for a pumpkin pie. So I'm just going to put them directly in the oven like this for about 30 minutes, and then we'll check. Okay, now we are doing our second project of the evening. I have a big old bag of oranges here, and we are going to dehydrate oranges. So I have my dehydrator tray set up here, and I'm going to cut my orange slices and put them on the dehydrator. Now I do multiple things with my oranges. My first thing that I like to do with my oranges is I do like to have dehydrated oranges for drinks, whether it be for hot teas or for cocktails. I always have a jar of dehydrated fruit, and my jar is actually getting a bit low. So I want to get some oranges cut for that. And then I'm also preparing for Christmas. So I do an outdoor tree. I actually do 2. And the one is always decorated with dried oranges, cranberry strings, and then I do buy some like white berry things from the dollar store. So it's orange, red, and white, and it's really pretty. I really like it. So I'm getting the oranges dehydrated for that tree. So my outside Christmas decor goes up the day after Thanksgiving. It goes up Black Friday. So I want to have some of these oranges ready to go on that day. So I like to dehydrate them, and then I put a piece of like burlap twine through them. And then that's my ornaments. So about probably 30 or so fruits will go to the tree. The rest will go into my dried oranges jar. So I just want to get this guy filled up. I have a big thing of oranges, and it's definitely not going to take up the whole bag. Like I don't have enough space in my dehydrator for everything. So we just want to get what we can get. And then the peels, you can do a couple different things with them. I don't like to waste things. I'd like to use things in any which way. So the first thing is you can add them to vodka. I love to take lemon peels like this when I do my dried lemons and add them to vinegar, and make a cleaner. So these work great as a cleaner, and some vinegar makes it smell good. You can also, what did I just have? What? Oh, I also like to put these in like a pot of water. So simmer pots are really in right now. And I'll be honest, I do like a simmer pot. I haven't made one in a while, but I do like a simmer pot. In a simmer pot, you just put a pot of water on the stove and you add things into it. So you can do oranges, cinnamon sticks, cloves, star anise, just things that smell good. And then you let it simmer, and then it smells your house with all kinds of delicious homey smells. That's another way that I like to use these ends. And I am washing them just because some of them, like I said, are going to go in drinks and cocktails. So I want to make sure they're clean. Okay, I got all the oranges done. They're in the dehydrator behind you, and the pumpkin is in the oven. So I'll bring you guys along when that pumpkin comes out. We'll let it cool, and then we'll scoop out the insides. bag it up, and wait for Wednesday till we make our pie. So I'll see you guys back in about 20 some minutes. Okay, it's an hour later. I have clothes on, my pajamas, but I got cold. My robe was the only thing downstairs, so don't mind the robe. But the pumpkin was in the oven for about an hour at 375. It's all done. I'm gonna let it cool, and it's pushing 8 o'clock now, so I don't know if I will scoop them out tonight or if I'll just like put them in a bag or in a container and put them in the fridge and scoop them out another night. But they are cooked, they are done, and I will see you guys back here on Wednesday when we make our pie. Hi friends, so it is the day before Thanksgiving and we are back to make our pumpkin pie. I have my pumpkin all skinned out. The night that I cooked this, I actually didn't feel like taking the pumpkin off of the rind, so I put it in the fridge. It was bagged, I put it in the fridge, and this morning I picked it all off of the rind. So now I am going to put it through the food processor to make a pumpkin puree. Okay friends, we have all of our pumpkin pureed. I have a big old bowl of it. So today we're going to make pumpkin pie. My day has kind of gotten a little away from me. My mom came down and we made the stuffing and we filled the turkey. So the turkey is ready to be cooked tomorrow. And now it's pushing 2 o'clock. I do have plans this evening. So I didn't even get close to everything done that I wanted to get done. So that's kind of a big letdown. But we're gonna get the pie done. So sometimes, I can't open this. Sometimes life does not go the way that you want it. I did get a lot of other stuff done. I did wash. I did some cleaning. I did do other stuff, but not the big list I had for myself. So that's just going to have to be okay. So, oops, I wanted to put my flour down. So I am using a store-bought pie crust this time. The reason being is a homemade pie crust, at least in my experience, is this. I had a little bit of water left on my counter. Homemade pie crust is a little bit crispier in my experience than a store-bought pie crust. And my parents, my dad especially, doesn't like it as crispy. I have made him so many things homemade, and been like, what do you like better, the homemade or the store-bought? He always says the store-bought. I remember one year I made him peanut butter cookies because peanut butter cookies are his favorite. So I made them completely from scratch. You know what he said? He liked the ones in the pack better. Like in that, you just tear open the pack, add eggs and water. He liked that better. So, because this is not just for me and this is for everybody, I'm going to make a mess of my pie crust. I am going to use a store-bought pie crust. So let me fix this mess that I've made. You want to roll it out, and then you want to put your pie dish in it. Make sure you have it big enough. And then I'm going to do some patches. Okay. Now I need my knife. Oops, I didn't get a knife. Okay, so now I'm going to cut some of the excess off. Okay. And now I'm going to crinkle it. I prefer, right here, a nice crinkle edge. This pie crust is not going to be as pretty as I wanted it to be. Well, it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look terrible. And I have a little bit of extra dough. And this will honestly just go in the trash. Okay, let's put him to the side. Now we're going to make our filling. So our recipe calls for 2 cups of fresh pumpkin. It's going to be so good, especially because it's our own homemade or our own homegrown pumpkin. You get all that in there. And then you can also make these and freeze them ahead of time. You can do a lot with this recipe. Okay, 2 cups of pumpkin, 1 can of evaporated milk, 2 eggs, and then a half of a teaspoon of nutmeg. Yeah, nutmeg. Ginger. Cinnamon. Oops. And salt. The last ingredient is 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. I'm going to take it over behind you, and I'll be right back. Now I want to take a fork, and I just want to put some holes in the bottom of my pie crust. This just keeps it from bubbling. I'm going to dump my filling in. Okay, that is our pie, our pumpkin pie. I am going to put just a little bit of sprinkling of cinnamon on top. And that's our pie. It could be a little oranger, I feel like. I'm hoping I have enough pumpkin in it. Okay, and I came up with something to do with this guy. I already put my rolling pin in the sink, and I don't really feel like dirtying another one. So let's just be creative. We're just going to make a little, so this doesn't go to waste, just a little pumpkin hand pie. I have no idea what I'm doing, but how can it go wrong? Okay, I'm just going to get a little bit of pumpkin. bit, some cinnamon, nutmeg, just a smidgen. That was a lot of nutmeg. Didn't want that much. A little bit of ginger. And then I just have white sugar here. A little bit of sugar. And let's close it up. First, in a little bit, I filled it a little bit too much. But that's okay. On a little baking sheet and have a little itty bitty pie. And then we'll put this guy in the oven for 45 to 50 minutes at 400. Okay, I have the pie in the oven. Now I want to get the pumpkin packed up. So I'm going to measure it out into 2-cup intervals. And then I'm just going to put them in freezer bags for the freezer. You cannot can pureed pumpkin. If this pumpkin, there's a little bit of rind. If this pumpkin hadn't have been pureed, if I just cubed it, I could have canned it. But I do prefer it in the pureed form. So we're just going to go ahead and get bagged up. And then we can use this for pumpkin pies later. We can make pumpkin scones, pumpkin waffles, pumpkin biscuits, pumpkin all the things. And this will already be nice and ready to go. So that's awesome. And this pumpkin freezes really, really good. Freezes really well. You put them in bags. That way you can lay them flat. So when I close them, I'll lay them flat. Then I can kind of stack them in my freezer. See, there's little bits of peel that I missed. That's okay. We blended it up. If there's a little piece of peel, it shouldn't be the end of the world. But if I see it, I'll pick it out. Okay, we got 6 bags. So that's 12 cups of pumpkin to put in the freezer. That pumpkin then gave us 14 cups of pumpkin. Can't complain about that, can we? And so that's why it's important to remember, and I'm mainly saying this for myself, I always want to grow like the massive pumpkin patch because I do want to have like the pumpkins on the front porch. But that was one pumpkin that easily gave me a year's supply of pumpkin. I don't do a ton with pumpkin. But even so, that gave me one pumpkin, one 13-pound pumpkin, gave me 14 cups of pumpkin. I think that's pretty good. So even if you're not growing a huge pumpkin patch, one pumpkin plant and one pumpkin is all you really need. And I did go to compost today to throw some stuff away, and I found I had a pumpkin growing in the compost bin. Here, let me wipe this up, and I'll show you that one. Look at this cute little patootie. Didn't know he was growing over there at all. I did pick him. He's not entirely ripe. He's getting there, but it is cold, so I didn't really want him to freeze again. So I picked him, and we will let him ripen, and then this might be a Christmas pumpkin dessert. So that's very exciting. This one I didn't even plant. This one grew in the compost. How exciting. So I'm going to get these put into the freezer, and I'm just going to, see, just kind of flatten them out and stack them on top of each other. Just like this. You want to make sure the bags are clean. As I hit a thing of pumpkin, and that all the air is out of them. Now, I think I'm actually going to let them kind of hang out in here, because what I have had happen is I have had the bags freeze together if they're a little wet. So let me get my towel rather than paper towels. And let me just kind of let these guys like hang out in here, let them dry. And so when I put them in the freezer, hopefully they don't stick together. So we'll be back when it is time for that pumpkin pie to come out of the oven. And we're excited. I'm so excited. So this year I have the pumpkin pie that I made, or that I grew from my garden, and the sweet potatoes are from my garden. I was hoping to have some carrots. I didn't. And then I was gonna make, I still have carrots in the garden, but they're not big enough. And then I was gonna make like roasted snap peas. I do have snap peas in my freezer, and I could do green beans from the garden too, for my green side for Thanksgiving. But I have Brussels sprouts that I bought a couple weeks ago that I need to use. So I think the pumpkin pie and the sweet potatoes are the only two things grown from the garden. But one day I do want to have like the full meal is from the garden. And I think I could honestly do it if it was just feeding like myself. Like I have my own corn, I have a couple carrots, I have plenty of mashed potatoes, plenty of sweet potatoes, plenty of green beans and broccoli. Not broccoli this year, but typically I have broccoli. Um, but I don't have enough of everything to feed a whole party. So one day we'll get the whole garden, or the whole Thanksgiving meal will be mine. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm saying goodbye too early. We still gotta check on that pie. So I'll see you guys in an hour to check on the pie. Okay, the pumpkin pie is done. I wasn't sure it was going to be done. I kept putting a toothpick in, but the recipe did say that if you put a knife in and the knife comes out clean, then your pie is done. So I'm excited, and it smells actually so good. When I opened the oven, I got that whiff of pumpkin. It smells so good. Let me show you. Look at this pumpkin pie. And it was so easy. So easy. So I'm going to let that cool, and then that'll go in the fridge for dessert for tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll let you know what I think of this pumpkin pie in the next video, and I'll see you guys on that next video. Bye, friends.